What's up, guys? Welcome to the new podcast channel. So stoked to have you here. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, comment thing. Help this thing grow because it's a grassroots movement. All right, we're taking the pod. I don't know.
You're doing great, guys. It's gonna be huge. We got our own channel. We're coming out of the gates hot. We got Tim Meyers, formerly of OneRepublic, now running for a contested congressional seat in the 41st district. This has huge national implications. We get very into the weeds. Too much so, stick around. You'll learn something.
And we're drafting the hottest dudes.
We kick it off with the sweet stuff up top. It's the sugar on the pill. Hottest guys of all time.
I mean, is there anything better than a hot dude?
And we have a surprise judge that you're going to love.
Yeah. Also, we're on tour. We got a couple shows left. We got Tempe Improv, June 12th. One
Bang.
show. Make sure, if you're in the Phoenix area and you want to come escape the heat and laugh, come to the Tempe Improv, June 12th. And then I got my next one-man show, June 21st in Los Angeles at Jam in the Van. And then we are going to be back at the Comedy Store July 1st. Is that correct?
Yep.
In the main room. It's going to be a banger of a show. And then September, we are coming to Florida, Tampa, Orlando, Dania Beach. We're going to be there. We're going to be in linen. We're going to be hot. And not just because it's hot out, but just like we're ready to be in Florida. So get your tickets at chadandjt.com. Also, we got a new sponsor that I'm so fired up on, guys. It's the Cash App. I mean,
it's the Cash App.
Do you guys remember a time before the Cash App?
Nope.
I don't. You know why? Because it was not chill.
It's the dark ages.
The dark ages. The time when you had to, split cash or just do IOUs, or you get a bill at a restaurant and you're like, who's gonna take this? And then it just, everything was so complicated. And then Cash App came along and it's like, hey, how about we make a streamlined, easy, fast way for you to transfer money to your friends, no matter how much it is. And so, or to other businesses, or to pay for goods or services, which is commerce. And to do it in an easy way on your phone and just a click of a button. That's where Cash App comes in. Guys, Cash App is the best. You have Cash App, right?
I do. I use it all the time.
I mean, maybe if you just want to move your cash to friends, family, someone else easily, need I say more? It's fast, easy, simple, fun. It's the best app in the world. Cash App. Secure and safe, personalized payments. You can do custom text, stamps, backgrounds, all that kind of stuff. If you want to get brunch, split mimosas, use the Cash App for it.
Bang.
It's sick. I love the Cash App. You will too, especially now, because for a limited time only, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, there's just no catch. There's no catch. Just download Cash App and sign up. Use our exclusive referral code. Go deep in your profile to send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. 10 bones.
Bang.
Put Go Deep in there, send 5 bones to a friend, you get 10 bones. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. That's why it's sick. That's why they're a sponsor. What up?
Boom, boom, boom.
Let's start the show. Stoked to be here in the Stoke Lab, the freaking HQ of SoCal's most popular podcast, Going Deep with Chad and JT. I got my compadre, Jean Thomas. What up?
Boom clap, Stokers.
And we got the master of fun, Chris Parr.
Hey.
Whoa. And we got a legend, Tim Meyers on the pod.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Former member of OneRepublic, and now you're running for Congress.
Yeah.
Very cool.
National Congress.
Doing it.
In the 41st district?
Yes.
So it's like Riverside and stuff?
Yeah, Palm Springs, Riverside, Corona.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's very different district for sure.
Well, we're going to get into all of that, but to wade into it slowly, we want to get to know you first. And what we do on this podcast is we draft.
Nice.
So we'll draft the best actors of all time, We'll draft the best places to vacation, the best places to have sex.
Love.
And the one we had queued up for today is the best looking guys of all time. So this is a serious one. Our fans are going to care a lot about this, and they're going to expect some fire picks from you. Are you ready?
Ready. Totally ready.
All right. Well, to find out what these guys are looking at their list right now.
Yeah, sorry.
And to be
This is
fair-
me being focused.
To be fair to Tim, we did not prep him for this. I was worried that he would drop out if he realized this was the heart of the episode. So he's just finding out about this now, whereas the three of us have done some prep. So grade him on a curve, actually.
Feel free to use ChatGPT too, because
Okay,
we do
right on.
that.
Oh,
We all
man.
do.
I
And
have the
people were
list in my
against
head.
it at first.
It's been sitting
Yeah.
there
You
for
got a
years.
list? Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
It's mainly like my wife has been saying these names for a long time.
Oh, nice.
Dude, good call.
We'll see if it overlaps with my fiance's. All right.
Okay.
So first we shoot out odds or evens. That's a 1 or a 2. Do you know the game?
No.
You throw out a 1 or a 2. It's a way to like figure out who the odd man out is when you're picking an order.
Okay.
So on 3, just throw a 1 or a 2. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Oh, could be good.
I don't know.
1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Oh, dang.
I feel like it's always us.
Yeah,
brother,
I
man.
know.
You ready to get cooked?
Yeah.
Paper, rock, scissors, shoot.
I think that's the same thing.
Oh man, I'm so glad I got the number 1 pick.
Oh, man.
I think it's fairly obvious who I'm going with. This man is synonymous with good looks. And there's 2 ways to grade attractiveness, right? You can go who had the highest peak or who had the most longevity of being good looking. I'm fortunate. This guy's the best looking ever at his peak and the best looking over time. He is masculine, but he is beautiful and he seems cool. Brad fucking Pitt, dude.
Oh man,
Come on.
he's so hot. He's such a good he is the pick. He is the pick.
For peak beauty, I'm going Legends of the Fall, when he has the long hair as Tristan. He was probably about 28 when they did that one. For best body, the debate often comes down to Troy versus Fight Club. I'm going to pivot on best body and say I was most impressed in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Because he's pushing
great film.
60
Great film.
and he's still got the rig I would kill for.
Yeah.
So those are probably my 2 most iconic Brad's beauty picks.
Dude, just on the roof.
That was a killer scene,
Look
dude.
at him, dude. I mean, he's just, my mom from an early age, she just drilled it into me. She's like, Brad Pitt is hot. Like, when I was like 4 or 5, she's like, he's hot. Look at him. And so I've always loved Brad Pitt. Just, killer body, great personality, good flow. I always try to get his haircut in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And,
I think I remember like an audible gasp in the audience when we were watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood from the girls in there.
Yeah.
Probably the
came
guys
off?
too. Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was loud as a motherfucker,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
I was like, let's go. Dude,
Yeah.
that's a body.
And you know what? He's able to make like Cliff Booth, by all accounts, is a loser. Like he lives in a trip, but Brad Pitt made him the coolest guy. Everyone wanted to be Cliff Booth after they saw that movie. I want to be Cliff Booth.
He's got a nice jaw. He's got great hair. His eyes are in nice shape. I mean, he's just a hot guy. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, come on.
Not even his best haircut, but or I go like Thelma and Louise.
Oh, yeah.
Because in Legends of the Fall, he's so sad, even though he's got great flow. But in Thelma and Louise, he's just a hot dude that gets picked up by an older woman.
Yeah,
So he
but-
just gets to be fun.
Just who do you think bones
Anywhere.
better, a fun grifter or a tortured warrior?
That's a good point. He's just so hot and like
Cool guy.
Did you guys look at Sexiest Man Alive? I looked at that.
Sure, the
and he
backlogs.
won like 15 years apart, and he's probably going to win 20 years again after that.
He should.
maybe 30. He'll deserve it every time.
I got a beef of the week too. Sexiest Man Alive really fell off a cliff about 7 years ago. They started picking guys who I think just their PR team was doing overtime for it. Like if you look at a couple of the past few winners, they're not in Brad Pitt's.
You didn't think John Krasinski deserved it in 24?
I swear to God, I haven't been that upset in a while. When him and John Legend won back to back, I was like, "What are we even doing here, man?
We'll slow your roll on John Legend. He might come up later. Just because.
Are you nuts?"
This isn't.
Is it
this
the voice?
I just a friend was going with her sister to a John Legend concert. The sister dropped out. She's like, "You want to go?" I'm like, "Sure." I go. I saw. It was like the most like every race ethnicity was in the crowd, and I heard so much audible swooning multiple times that he wasn't on my radar, and I'm like, Jesus, dude, like these women are losing it for this guy. I was surprised by that because I don't know, I was like, he's kind of dorky. But yeah, women would like, I kept hearing it over and over, like they were like moaning in their seats, and like I was like, yeah.
I've never heard that.
Wow.
Chris, you're up, dude. Pick 2.
I'm not picking him.
Yeah, you are, dude. You're going to Elton John.
No, I'm gonna go with David Beckham.
That's a great pick.
I didn't even think about that, but he's such a good pick.
It's Brad Pitt with wheels, dude.
Legend.
Yeah, look at him. Wow.
I mean, he's really sexy. He's had different hairstyles too. We got Flo. Well, that's the thing is, it's so atypical that a Brit would be this sexy. So he's a unicorn in that way. Because I don't know, they're not usually the hottest people in my opinion, dudes wise.
Shots fired.
But like he had sick flow. His hair has always been amazing. Power couple,
icon,
athlete, and yeah, I don't know. Like he's so hot. Nice rig. He's all tatted up. Looks good. Yeah, he's just really hot.
Yeah, good for him.
Totally.
What is he doing now? Is he like a commentator or?
What does he do now?
He's got a beverage company, right?
He owns the Miami soccer team.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know.
Just
probably gets
good.
paid a lot to do commercials, and just had a great docu-series come out about him and his wife a year ago.
Oh yeah, heard about that.
And he's just hot. Yeah, that's my pick. I didn't want to go actor right after. How am I gonna? I had to pick a different lane.
I do think athlete is a good pivot too. Like in the few occasions where I've been around actor and athlete at the same time, the athlete sticks out more.
Interesting. He's also an international icon, which obviously Brad Pitt is, but like I needed someone with that
heft. Yeah, you don't want to just go with like the hot guy who works at Nordy's or something.
I was wondering about that. If I could pick like, I don't know, like
just a beautiful guy you've seen.
Yeah, in like middle school, man. Like this guy was racking up.
I was thinking I was going to pick Rick Wilson. That guy from high school had great abs, but I was honestly worried he'd hear it and be like, "Why the fuck are you talking about him, man?" Tim, you're up, man.
I'm gonna go with Leo, and
great pick.
He's just so cool. You know, Academy Award-winning actor. He's someone honestly that I wish I could be like best friends with. You know, like going to the clubs and the restaurants and everything, and he's just a great actor. Seems like a smart dude.
And in his youth, I mean, just an angel.
Yeah,
totally.
Romeo and
Titanic.
Juliet, when they see each other through the glass, you're like, what the fuck are you from?
And one of the few movie stars to this day where when he has a movie, it's an event. Which not many movie stars have that anymore.
Totally.
And
everything he's going to be in is going to be really good.
Yeah.
It's going to be really, really good.
And he makes vaping cool.
But see, now we're talking about things beyond aesthetics, unless we're saying this contributes to the...
I think it contributes.
Okay.
Are you not counting personality?
Yeah.
It counts, of course. They got to have a good career, but, let's not swerve too far from what makes the money, baby.
I mean, look at him.
The vaping shot.
Well, Chad, you're up with 2 picks right here, brother.
Man, this is tough. There's so many hot dudes.
It's true.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go with 2 guys because I get 2 picks because I'm 4th.
Will Ferrell.
Dude, don't. He's still on the board. All right, I'm gonna go Captain America for the not the actor.
Which is that?
But he is. I think in real life he is our. I'm gonna go with Tom Brady, number 1.
Great pick.
He's a hot dude. He's gotten hotter with age.
Disagree.
Best football, one of the best football players of all time. And look at him. He's just a hot dude.
Tallest guy on the list so far.
tallest guy.
He's just got to lay off I feel like he's getting too much work done lately.
I think it looks fantastic. I think it's all been great. Weak pick. Come on, Nicholas Cage.
He might be a football fan from another town.
Jake, do you mind typing in Tom Brady Stetson ad?
This is a positive, right?
Yeah, it's a positive. Him in that coat. Come on, dude.
Yeah,
look at that.
He's got the cleft chin. It's a great pick, dude. He's a stunner. And he came into the league kind of a doughboy.
Yeah.
And then but he had the raw materials, and then he put it together like he always does.
Yeah, and then he married a supermodel.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I was about to say,
he gets so much hotter by doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just
he left a supermodel for another more supermodel.
I mean,
Tale as old of time.
Think about it. Imagine being the best quarterback in the country and you're hot. That's the dream.
greatest of all time. It's a great pick.
All right, number 2, I'm gonna go classically handsome, silver fox, charisma for days, George Clooney.
Hey, the legend.
There you go.
The Clunes, gives us tequila, looks good while doing it. He's on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Look at him.
He got Biden to bow out.
He's got sweat. Yeah, he called up Biden himself. He's like, dude, you gotta quit this.
Was not the man I first knew.
Great voice. He's Danny Ocean.
He's like old school Hollywood too,
Old school
right?
Hollywood hot. Yeah.
Old school legend.
Yeah, he's not like classically jacked or anything, but he's just like...
He probably has like an amazing jazz singing voice or something.
Yeah, good call. Yeah.
He's got his voice.
Yeah.
The lantern jaw. And he's also kind of hot that no one's picked yet, which is where you're 20, but you look like a 40-year-old, but it's attractive.
He's always looked 40.
He's always been he was never he was never like Leo, where he was like the angel boy. He was always like, no, I'm a man.
Yeah.
He's always had grays. I think he was born with gray hair.
There's some complaints that
Is it about
our
Leo?
lists are all white.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Wait, I thought someone said John Legend or...
We mentioned him, and then we bashed it. So
Yeah.
all right, Tim, you're up.
Well, I'm gonna go. Especially with all the comments to Barack Obama.
Oh, nice! Wow, smart dude. You are running for office.
Totally, I had to get that in there.
That's cagey as hell, dude.
It's a good one.
Yeah, he's just a legend, right?
Very good speaker.
I feel like my picks aren't based on looks, though. It's like brains and charisma and personality and stuff.
And they've been a good champion of the party that you're running in, too.
Yeah, totally.
They've been doing their work.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's got he's magnetic, presidential. He's presidential hot.
Yeah, you definitely get a bump for being president. You get called that forever once it happens.
That's cool. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. He's pretty sexy. Also, like when you get compared against other presidents, it gives you such a bump to be even moderately attractive.
It's true. There's a curve there where like it's same with John F. Kennedy, where when you look at photos and you're like, was he that hot? And then you're like, you got to compare him to like Eisenhower and Nixon and like the other guys who are in his wheelhouse.
I know this is off topic, but who's hotter, Bill Clinton, Obama, or Kennedy?
I honestly think if you're in a room, I think Clinton takes it.
I agree.
I think so too.
I think he had the most swag.
Yeah.
But dude, I read the Coming of Age in America, the JFK book, and that author, Frederick Longueville, he couldn't hit it hard enough that every time John F. Kennedy was in a room, the chicks were going nutty.
Really?
Oh yeah, like he always had back problems, and then you'd come visit him, and all the nurses were like, "We can't wait to see John again. He's an incredible man."
Really?
Yeah, he just.
What was it about him?
I maybe that his dad was like the richest dude in America, but I think he just was a legend. I mean, he was a war hero. He was smart as hell.
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Johnson.
yeah.
I met Bill Clinton, and he's like so charismatic in person.
Yeah.
Gave me a big hug and was just like this super nice guy,
I'd like to meet him. I think that'd be cool.
He had a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
For sure.
Maybe it's better too that we have a little bit more distance from JFK, and Clinton even for that, because Barack, I feel like he's like, he's like podcasted and stuff. Are we getting too many peeks behind the veil? If he had more distance, would he be even sexier?
Yeah, it's a good call.
Good point.
Yeah, when he did the podcast with Bruce, I was like, you're not as hot anymore.
But he can hoop, and that's pretty hot.
And, he's different, too, with Clinton and JFK. Part of what made them hot was that they were such philanderers. And with Barack, what makes him hot is that he seems loyal to Michelle.
You get like a nice family man vibe.
All right, Chris, you're up.
I don't know. I'm going to go Chris Hemsworth.
Nice. I mean, can't go wrong.
Yeah, it's just, I guess maybe too obvious of a pick, but I don't know. He's just like, he's really hot. He can grow a good
Australian
beard. He's super jacked. And yeah, I don't want to overthink this one. Let's just take the hottest, buffest actor going right now. Because on those two things, like maybe there's somebody who's buffer, maybe there's arguably hotter, but probably not even. But both of those combined, I don't know who's beating them right now.
I mean, you went with just the pure male archetype. Strong, big, handsome.
Yeah, and he can grow a lumberjack beard and it looks beautiful. He can be clean shaven and it looks beautiful. I mean, the pick that I would go to is the one where he's surfing with his daughter hanging on his back, because then that's him being a good dad, but he also has a full beard and he's super buff. I would say surfing with daughter. Yeah. I mean, look at that. She's hanging on his back.
Wow. Good for him.
And he's just so cool. Shredded. And he's surfing. So, like, obviously he's an athlete.
I mean, I think he was his hottest in Rush.
Could you like Flo?
James Hunt. And he lost some weight in that. He was a little skinnier.
Yeah, and he had there's a coolness about him that I thought was...
Yeah, his character in that is like, I like to fucking drink and drive really fast.
Yeah.
And that's my whole personality. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We should all aspire to be like that.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm doing right now. This is good. I'm feeling good.
You're doing really well, man. No one's going to be hating on your list. I'm really proud of you.
Thanks.
All right, I'm up next. I get 2 picks. I'm going to take a second on my next pick, but my first pick, I know who I want. I think I've got my matinee idol in Brad Pitt. I need someone who's brooding. I need someone who has a dark, mysterious, sexual power to him. I'm going with the original method actor, the guy who changed the game with his intensity, and just a total stud, Marlon Brando. I texted you a photo of him, Jake, if you could pull that up. I texted it to you. You can just feel the horniness. Mm-hmm. Some guys are handsome in a way where like they don't seem horny though. They're like boardroom good looking. Brando's good looking where you're like, there's steam coming off of him. Mm-hmm. See,
a lot of photos of him all.
There's a good one.
Wow.
And it's tougher. He aged poorly because he let himself get fat as shit. But he did what a lot of hot guys do. They just get over it. They're just like, man, he slept with all the women. He slept with half the dudes. And he just said, forget about it. But type in Streetcar Named Desire. How buff he was. There it is. Go to the shirtless one right there. Look how jacked he was in like 1950.
That was tough to do.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's got a wide shoulder frame, good pecs, narrow waist.
I just haven't seen much when he was a young stud. Only when he was an old guy. And he just wasn't as hot. A lot of cigs in these photos, though. Different time.
Yeah.
Not that people don't smoke, but...
He wears a small tee well.
Yeah, with like the cigarettes up in the sleeve kind of vibe. He's hot.
Thank you.
I get it.
What's number 3?
This one's tougher. You know what? I'm going with there's something hot about someone that we only ever saw hot. We never saw them lose their hotness. It makes them a mystery they're always like perfect in our memory. And this guy was taken from us too soon, but he's obviously been a hugely influential factor in all of our careers. I'm including Tim here.
Oh, I thought you were going to say me. No.
I'm actually going with my brother. No, I'm going with Paul Walker.
Whoa! I wasn't expecting that.
I thought you were going to say James Dean or
That's
something.
what I thought he was going.
Yeah. I think that would have been a good pick, but I'm going with young Paul Walker.
Dude, how'd I miss that? He's so hot.
Yeah, and like honestly, when the thing was especially if you're our age, when you were growing up, if there was a hot guy needed in a movie,
yeah,
they were like, just throw Paul in there, man.
Yeah,
like in a Varsity Blues, when he had to, they were like, hey, who can we get to play Tom Brady in a movie, basically?
Right. Who's the blue chip quarterback? I'm like, Paul.
Yeah, and they're like, can you do a Southern accent? They're like, it don't matter, man.
Yeah,
look at the guy.
Yeah, who's like in the Skulls? It's another one where it's like who's just like a really hot dude.
We need someone to play a hot douche. They're like, she's all that. The Skulls. We got the guy.
Yeah,
and you know what's crazy? But it seemed like he was a sweetheart of a dude. All right, Chris, you're up.
I wasn't expecting
Pleasantville.
that.
He had to play the fucking guy.
I mean, dude, Fast and Furious 1.
I'm cussing a lot.
When he first gets out of the car, you're like, holy smokes.
Cool. He was cool.
Yeah, and he had his own style.
Yeah.
It was shorts, Jack Purcell's, and just a plain tee.
Or West Coast
that was like
Customs.
1 or 2 sizes too big.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what the best was too? Is it was a sick movie. I think John Dahl directed it. Joyride, where they're like, "Hey, Paul, you're actually going to be the loser brother, and the cooler hot brother is going to be Steve Zahn." And I kind of bought it. I was kind of like, "Yeah, you know, he doesn't have the rhythm that Steve's got." All right, Chris, you're up.
I'm thinking. I'll go with someone who's younger. I'm excited to see this dude age because I'm sure he's going to be super hot the whole time. But we've known him since he was a teen. No, I'll go with another actor. I'm going to go with Michael B.
Yeah, good pick.
He's always jacked, except for when he was a teenager and he was skinny. But he got over that pretty fast. And he's been keeping up his bod.
Before he got the job.
He's amazing in Creed, right? Like,
he's so good, dude.
Yeah. It's insane. So good. And he got ripped for that new one, right?
Yeah, he looks good.
He's always hot.
He's gotten hotter with age, I'd say. Sinners, super hot.
And it's honestly, it's going to be nice. In 30 years, he's still going to be hot. He's probably still going to be jacked. And it's going to be awesome. And we're going to get to enjoy that forever. I mean, it's going to be the gift that keeps on giving. And I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be great. And I love him as an actor. He does badass shit. It's awesome. It's super fun. Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
All right. This next guy, he gives B. Pitt a run for his money. Why? Because he influenced B. Pitt. I think this guy's the original blonde, hot Hollywood dude. He's stayed hot in his old age. He's just undeniably hot. Robert Redford.
That's a great pick.
I thought you were going to say Ryan Seacrest.
That guy,
he's still on the board.
That guy is aged. Seacrest, I'm talking about. Unbelievably.
No, it's a great pick.
I mean, yeah, maybe do young Robert Redford.
Yeah, do like Sundance Kid. Type in Sundance Kid.
Have you ever seen the movie The Sting?
Yes.
It's so good.
It's a very fun one.
So fun.
Legend.
Look at
And that stash.
Just hot.
Yeah. And great, he has that flat affect in movies where he doesn't ever over emote. Some people don't like it. I think it rips. Where he'll just be like, look, if we don't get the codes for the bomb, the whole country of Sweden's going to blow up. And it's like real deliberate. And there's like a confidence to it that makes you want to spend time with him horizontally.
I didn't realize that people said that as a knock. Because that is true. I've never thought about it like that. But it's great. He's just so likable.
Was that Chad's pick?
Yeah.
That was Chad's, yeah.
Oh.
We skipped.
Oh,
What were you going to take, Redford?
I'm sorry.
No.
Dude, I'm
Although
sorry.
that was in my head for
sorry,
sure.
man.
I have a different
Are
person.
you sure? Because
I
you
have a
can
different
take
person.
Redford if you want.
Dude, I'm
No,
sorry, man.
I have one.
You can dock me
when
a
it's my
point.
turn. Is it my turn right
It's
now?
your turn now.
Yeah.
So this person, makes it possible for me, it feels like, to have a dad bod. and because so many girls think he's hot, Jason Momoa.
Oh, good pick.
Oh yeah.
He kind of has.
Now your list is really interesting.
Oh yeah.
DiCaprio, Obama, Momoa. I like the way you're working, dude.
He's got the long hair. You know.
Yeah,
the,
he's a
the
stud.
beard.
I mean, Khal Drogo. Women were all
he's
about
ripped, but he
that.
kind of has the dad bod going on, right? A little bit.
Yeah.
Like the stomach and stuff.
Yeah, he's got a great natural frame, and he's letting it puff up.
Look at him.
Well, look at that Aquaman.
Well said by me. Oh yeah, that's cool.
It's nice because he's like, it's almost like you're getting like the jacked emo one.
Totally.
You know,
Yeah.
like he's got some of that. Not always. Sometimes he's non-emo, but he can do the emo, but super jacked and hot.
Feels attainable.
Yeah, just gotta get a little tanner, a lot taller, jacked.
Tatted up.
I could get the tats.
I need more of that Islander look. Is that a cheat? Is that something we can work on?
Yeah, get in the lab and
Yeah.
can you make me look like
Get in the
this?
gym. Strider, our buddy, works valet at a Hollywood hotel, and he says Momoa comes in like a Bronco with the top cut off, wearing shorts and no shoes, and has like an axe in his back pocket.
That's
Chad,
so
you're up,
perfect.
dude, with your last pick. You have a great list, Chad.
Oh, thanks. I'm sorry about that. To taking. I didn't mean to go really.
Oh, no worries.
Okay. I gotta go with. I mean, this guy. You know, he's naturally hot. He's always been hot. He's still hot. He's aged well. On top of that, he's a soulful dude, and he's well renowned for his kindness, for being a good dude. He's a good hot dude. Keanu.
Oh, good pick.
That is not where I saw you going. Interesting.
I gotta go
Good
Keanu.
list.
I mean, there's other guys who are like probably aesthetically hotter, but I think total package, Keanu. People love Keanu. And he was hot when he was young. He's hot now. He's hot as John Wick.
Yeah, he was a real good looking dude.
Yeah.
And you know, you're right. He's one of the ones.
Jake's
Jake,
sandbagging with
Jake,
the
come
picture.
on.
Damn, Jake.
Jake, pull up Point Break. Do Point Break. Jake's young.
Oh, yeah. Still surfing? Every day. Every day.
There's a kindness that comes through in his good looks too,
Yeah.
which is rare.
You gotta go down. It's gotta be that way.
Great pick, Tim. It's your final pick.
This one's tough. This is going to be controversial, but I'm going to say Johnny Depp. But
That's a great pick.
kind of early Johnny Depp, you know,
Yeah.
like there's something a little cringy about Johnny Depp now, unfortunately, but like, yeah, like he's so cool, you know, like early on and stuff, just a pirate, a rock star, you know, Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp, 90s Johnny Depp in Blow, Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean, hot pirate. I asked my fiance last night, I'm like, you think I could have been a pirate? She said no. I was like, yeah.
He was another one that won multiple Sexiest Man Alives, but like a decade apart because he stayed hot for so long. And plus, between him and Momoa, you kind of cornered the bracelet and necklace game.
Totally.
Yeah, like,
They're
they're
like, and Barack does that too.
Oh, yeah.
like, I don't even know if any of my guys wear bracelets, let alone the sick leather ones that Depp's always rocking.
Yeah, you have a good list because you got movie stars, but you also have politicians.
Yeah.
You got
That's why I'm running for politics. you
Yeah,
know, very
exactly.
politically, it's, you know,
yeah,
it's
you
very
got
politically
big,
correct.
yeah.
Mhm. Smart.
Not a lot of musicians. Do we have any?
Yeah. No, I thought of Chris Martin, but yeah, I don't know. But that's mainly just because of his music. I love Coldplay.
Yeah.
Love Coldplay.
Well, what is it about? I mean, obviously, I'm not surprised that it's mostly actors and then some athletes, but yeah, we haven't. No musicians.
You know, maybe actors have the benefit of playing sexy. I mean, well, I guess athletes or musicians are playing sexy guys, and so are athletes. But the roles help, I think, with actors Because you associate them with these cool guys that they play in like a scripted thing.
I guess Elvis would be considered,
Elvis?
like a sex icon, right?
Oh, I might pick him.
I was wondering about Elvis was one that was in my notes, but you know what, I don't. Apparently, women swooned. I mean, what his hips were super dangerous. I just don't find him personally attractive.
Paul McCartney with the bowl cut, right? It's super hot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going Ringo. No.
Ringo.
Adam Devine.
Adam Levine.
Oh, I know who I'm going with my last pick.
He was on a lot of lists. Just it was just the most boring Super Bowl halftime show ever that I just couldn't pick him.
You're gonna love my last pick because I'm going so from the heart, baby. Chris, you're gonna really be. You're gonna say, "Hey, JT, you honored yourself there."
Yeah, I'm wondering what to do with this last one.
The chat's giving away some gold.
Oh, really? Let me look. You know what? I'll do it, and I don't really have a bad boy, so I'll take James Dean.
Great
Died
pick.
young, smoking cigs. His most iconic role. It's called Rebel Without a Cause. He's wearing that red jacket. That's sexy. He died going really fast in a sports car. I mean, he's just a personification of being young, hot, and dumb. And I think it adds some swag, some riz to my list that I didn't quite have. Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Why is he wearing a red jacket in every photo?
Because that's his most famous role. Well, and Jake typed in "Rebel Without a Cause," so
okay.
I think it only takes place over like 18 hours, so he's mostly just wearing the same outfit.
Yeah, I mean the original hot dude, just a friggin'. I mean,
Great looking face.
like JT was saying earlier with Paul Walker, he exists hot. He'll be forever hot.
Yeah,
we don't have to see. There's no photos Jake can pull up of him looking unhot.
Is he part of the 27 Club or what is it called?
Yeah.
Is he? I think so. It's funny. I mean, if he's 27 there in today's day and age, he looks like he's like 45.
Oh, okay.
He was 24. Look at him.
Wow, that's so young.
Look at how old he looks.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's a different time.
That's what smoking does to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does look cool. I agree.
What's up?
Barack smokes.
Barack? Does he really?
That was the thing he couldn't kick.
Wow.
Yeah, when he was
I think he
stressed.
quit in the White House, right? Or
Did he?
something?
Tried to. I heard they used to be
yeah.
out in the garden ripping them.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, nobody's signing up for this Environmental Protection Act. Fuck.
Dude, do you think we'll have a president who vapes?
AOC.
That geek bar.
Last pick. I'm probably going to lose it here because I really think I got this thing wrapped up, but I got to go with my heart.
Wow, your list is so strong.
And I'm going right here. This is such a curveball, but it's not.
Is that Nelly Furtado?
George Michael.
Oh, Lenny Kravitz. So good. And he looks still like forever young, right? I did a show up north. It was called something like Music in the Vineyard, and he headlined it. I didn't get to meet him, but we did the same festival and stuff. And I heard he was just in his room the entire time and then just came down for the show, and then that was it. Took off. But he's so cool.
Yeah.
He's such a cool
will
legend.
Will you look up the I Belong to You music video and just play that for a little bit?
Who wore a fishnet t-shirt better, Lenny or Jason Momoa?
Well, what's funny, they were married. They were both married to the same person.
Yeah.
She's got two people on her sexiest man list.
Wow.
Who like both have pretty not dissimilar stylistic choices.
I used to watch this music video in junior high and just be like, yeah, that's what a hot guy looks like. We put on the music a little bit, Jake? Yeah. I think they shot this in like Haiti or something.
What's crazy is he looks the same. Yeah.
And he made Zoe Kravitz too, who's beautiful. with why am I forgetting his ex-wife's name?
Who's the wife?
Lisa Bonet.
Lisa Bonet, who's beautiful. Yeah.
Oh.
And she was with Jason Momoa for a long time. She pulls, bro. All right,
Yeah,
guys,
that's
those
too
are our
nice for-
lists. Aaron can't judge. So,
Are we gonna have a woman judge? Or which dude do we trust to do it?
I think we got to have a woman judge. We'll call our mom.
Does she know all these people?
I'm bummed
Yeah.
we didn't get Harrison Ford on here.
She'll be upset about that.
My
Sean Connery, too.
my mother-in-law's in town, and I was like, "Who's hot?" She said Clooney, Harrison Ford. Those were her two picks.
Indiana Jones.
Where she's not gonna know who Michael B is, so I'm gonna need one of you guys to say, "Hey, can you Google Michael B. Jordan just to look at him, just so that she's fully informed."
Oh, man, I got number one.
I just don't want to do it because I don't want to. I don't want to signal
this thing.
I don't want to signal to her that it's my pick. So one of you guys should do it if you don't mind.
Wow, JT, you really came to play today.
Thanks, man.
Oh man, I thought about getting Lenny in the fourth. That would have been a good move.
I'm not going to win the fourth round, though. With James Dean, Johnny Depp, and Keanu, I'm going to get last place in the fourth round, but I'm okay.
Yeah.
I wanted a black dude, not even just to be PC, but I really do think they're so hot.
Lenny was great, and his dick fell out when he was performing.
Yeah, he's got a
because
piece.
he wears leather pants and does the squats in them.
Did it look big?
Oh, we almost met him because he was at Ellen when we did Ellen.
Was he?
Lenny was there, man.
Oh, really?
Because that kid played drums with them.
Oh,
They had like Ellen does that. She's
Damn,
like,
we
there's
should-
7-year-olds here.
We should have tried to meet him. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried. Security stopped me. I was like, Lenny,
I sent her the list.
I belong to you, and you belong to me too.
JT 3 number ones. Wow.
It's never happened before.
Wow.
All right, honey, what's the question?
All right, we're ranking the hottest guys of all time. Mom, you've always appreciated male aesthetics. Do you have the list on your phone? Can you look at it?
Yeah, I am. I'm reading it. There's a couple. I don't know. Let me see if I don't know. I think the only I don't know is Jason Momoa.
I'll send you a photo of him.
Mom, do you know?
And Chris Hemsworth?
You don't know who Chris Hemsworth is?
Not really. I know, but I don't know the name.
Chris, will you send her a photo?
Yeah.
All right, Mom, we're going to catch you up on some of this. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed, but it's all right. It's not your fault. All right, I just sent you a photo of Jason Momoa, Mom.
Does she know it's Michael B. Jordan and not Michael Jordan?
Oh, yeah, and it's not Michael Jordan, Mom. It's Michael B. Jordan, the actor.
Yeah. No, I think you're that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Okay, I know who he is. That's Aquaman.
Yeah, Mom, are you on speakerphone?
Yeah.
Can you just talk straight into the phone because we can't hear you that well?
Yes.
Mom, I'm sending you a picture of Chris Hemsworth right now. 1 sec.
Yeah, the guy, the Momoa is Aquaman.
Yeah, Aquaman, exactly.
Okay, hold on. Let me look at the other one. Hold on.
Did you think Aquaman was good looking? She's busy.
She's locked in.
When you guys want to recap the list?
Yeah. So we have the first group is Brad Pitt, Marlon Brando, Paul Walker, Lenny Kravitz. Then we have David Beckham, Chris Hemsworth, Michael B. Jordan, James Dean. Then we have Leonardo DiCaprio, Barack Obama, Jason Momoa, Johnny Depp. Then we have Tom Brady, George Clooney, Robert Redford, Keanu Reeves.
Okay. I'm going to start by eliminating of the list. Okay, let me go back. It's hard to not to go on a speaker because I have to read at the same time.
Yeah.
You got it, Mom.
The tension is palpable.
I'm between the first group and the third group.
For the best?
Yes.
Oh. So here, Mom, pick your least favorite. And then
Hold
your
on.
next least favorite. And then decide.
My least favorite is the last one.
Okay.
Because it's what? Because it's why?
Because Tom Brady to me is his personality. I don't know, it's just too much. And Keanu Reeves, I don't think he's handsome.
And then what's your next least favorite list?
Okay, hold on.
Nicholas Cage, shut up.
Okay, my least favorite actually now is the third one just because of Johnny Depp. I think he's super handsome, but I think he thinks he's too cool.
All right.
He's just like, oh, I'm so cool, and blah, blah.
It's the wristbands.
So, some of them, I love them, but because the other ones are in the list, they're losing. Hold on. My favorite is the first one.
Yes! Yes! Mom, that was me.
Mom, you gave me second place, so I
You gave Chris
appreciate it.
second
Thank
place. We are your children.
Who won?
I did, Mom.
Yay! And Chris got second place?
Yeah.
Okay, you see?
People are saying I've rigged 2 drafts in a row because we called Robbie the other time. Yeah.
I love you guys. I love
Oh, wait.
you. You can call me anytime.
Mom, wait, real quick. Who do you think's the hottest on the list? Like one, if you just had to pick one.
One, hold on.
Like just one person,
And
not one list.
remember, my mom has said in the past that Kevin Spacey was her actor crush.
You guys are going to think I'm nuts. Barack Obama.
Oh. I don't think you're nuts.
I happen to love the guy.
All right, right on. Well, we're going to talk politics now, Mom, but we love you. Thank you so much. Great list. You ripped it.
I love it anytime.
Thanks, Mom. Love you.
Bye, Mama.
Welcome, love you all. Bye. Mwah.
Man, I mean,
Mom's always liked black guys. That's true.
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
you had a great list, but I got to bring it up. The last 2 judges.
Aaron, I didn't know Aaron was going to recuse himself from the other one and be at the zoo today.
I mean, I don't disagree with her pick.
Right.
I think you nailed it, but I'm gonna say it.
Yeah, no, I understand why you'd be like, oh, your mom picked you.
Well, yeah, and we might have the same taste as our mom. That's true. And who would have known she was going to flip on Depp like that?
We'll have chat vote too.
Yeah, for having too big of an ego.
I mean, Chad had me with the number 1 pick in 3. Yeah, oh, dude. Yeah.
It's
3 votes, but I won.
I don't.
Your mom's a hilarious judge.
Yeah, we got to keep having her judge. She's so funny. All right, well, Tim, let's get into you.
Yeah.
So that's the draft. Let's do
Amazing.
like 45
Love
minutes
it.
with you about So
Thank you.
you're from Orange County?
Yeah. Well, no, from Corona. Born and raised in Corona.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Did you go to SC Village growing up, play some paintball?
No.
They got a great paintball course.
Okay, very cool. Nice.
And then you were in the band OneRepublic from 02 to 07.
Mm-hmm.
So you were there when like Apologize came out
Yeah,
and kind
absolutely.
of took
And-
over.
Yeah.
And
And
you
you
guys-
wrote Stop and Stare and a bunch of other songs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that album was so huge. And you guys, like that album was done and then the label like cut you guys, but then Timbaland like discovered the song.
Yeah. So Columbia dropped us and, it was heart-wrenching, and it was wild too because we blew up on MySpace. So we were like number 1 on MySpace, played Coachella, did all these great things, and then got dropped by Columbia. And then Timbaland ended up picking up the album, buying it for nothing, and it went through Universal, Interscope, and then just blew up.
And he famously took none of the money off the music, right? Like he could have got a rip off of it because he did the remix of Apologize, but he
No,
didn't.
he
did
has
take-
royalties
Oh,
and
okay,
stuff
cool.
like that.
All
Yeah,
right.
and he did really well. But what a smart businessman, and just a great person to work with too.
And then, if you don't mind me asking, what made you want to leave the band at that point?
A lot of I wanted to start a family. The touring life, doing all the things.
Yeah.
But then I also started getting into writing for TV, film, and commercials, like my songs getting placed in TV, film, and commercials.
Yeah.
And it's so lucrative. I ended up getting a season finale of Grey's Anatomy while I was in the band and got this big check. And I was like, I need to do more of this. Like, this is crazy. I just wrote a song one day and it got placed. And so I started doing more of that.
And you got more personal fulfillment for just
yeah,
like...
I've always loved the studio. Like, especially when I was in the band and stuff, my favorite parts were like recording the albums, you know, and writing for the albums. And so I'm just a big studio rat, you know, but I ended up starting my label, and it was mainly, you know, I noticed a lot of artists were getting screwed over. Like songwriters basically on Spotify, they get paid $50 to $150 per million streams on Spotify. So it's really bad for artists. You know, starting my label, I wanted to help artists, you know, to be able to buy homes, to, you know, make a living doing music. And so now I've helped hundreds and hundreds of artists be able to do that. And so that was really special, starting my label. So that it was multiple reasons, you know.
Yeah, and who are some of the big acts off your label?
So Aloe Black, you know, worked
Sure.
with Aloe and did a joint venture with him. I discovered Haley Steinfeld early on.
Whoa.
You know, and then I've also, outside of that, outside my label, I've worked with Chapel Roan and Kesha and all sorts of artists. So
How is Haley? Seems just like talented in all areas. I've been re-listening to her song "Starving." It's so good. I didn't realize that was her. I was like, so I just saw it pop up on TikTok, and I was like, I just keep listening to it.
Honestly, Haley's such a great human being, and you know, and such a great songwriter, you know, and you know, she's super fun to work with. I think we met when she was like 16 years old or something like that, and
so like after True Grit.
Yeah, right after True Grit, and then we just worked together literally, I think a year ago or 2 years ago. So like we've continued to work together and stuff, and it's kind of funny. Like I probably shouldn't be sharing this, but I think she would laugh at this. Like I remember we were in the studio and we're like doing, you know, rocking out to a song, and you know, she's laughing, we're having fun, and I'm like, what do you like better, like acting or music? And I was totally expecting her to say hands down music, and she's like, oh, acting. You know? Really? I'm like, why? And she's like, it's such a slow process, you know, like the song coming together and everything, and acting. But I feel like acting, you're waiting as well, but you know, but
pretty slow.
Yeah,
they're both slow.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And so now you're transitioning and you're running for U.S. Congress. So what motivated the choice to do that?
So, you know, I've always been involved politically, you know, and mainly it's to help out other people. So I grew up a pastor's kid. My dad would hold hands with people in hospital beds passing away, help, you know, I would go with him to feed the homeless. And so growing up as a pastor's kid, I just saw how rewarding it is to like help other people out and serve other people. And so, you know, the music industry, it's been so good to me, but it's been almost selfish in a way, you know what I mean? Like the entertainment industry, it's all about, you know, writing the next hit song or making money or doing all the things. And there's songs that touch other people's lives, but there's something really amazing about, you know, serving in this way where you're like helping out people and it's changing their lives and saving lives too. So
yeah, I think David Brooks, the New York Times writer, talks about this second mountaintop where really successful people, after they get kind of financial security, they typically go towards more altruistic purposes for their life.
100%.
And then you're running in Riverside and Palm Springs, which it's traditionally a red district.
Yeah, it's been red for 32 years, which is crazy.
And the dude who reps it right now, what's his name? Calvert?
Yeah, Ken Calvert. So when I was 8 years old, he became my representative, and 32 years later, he's still there. The guy's still there.
Wow.
And he's very red. Like he tried not to certify the election in 20, and he
voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. He, you know, voted against the bipartisan infrastructure bill. He's super, super red.
What was the name of that bill? Was that the?
I don't know if that was Build Back Better or if that was the one before. I don't remember.
I'd have to look that up. Yeah.
And then, so do you have like your platform pretty well worked out that you're running on, or like you still working that out?
Yeah. So we're going to be putting more policies up on the website and everything like that. But yeah, we've been really sharing with folks what we're doing here. So.
And so, what are you most passionate about?
there's a couple issues I'm really passionate about. I mean, living here in Southern California, being third generation Southern Californian, you know, the homelessness and crime issues are just out of control here. And, you know, I would love to see California fixed, you know, and, you know, climate change is such a huge thing here as well. You know, with the wildfires, I've been evacuated 3 times and I have 2 kids, and, you know, there's something wild about, you know, evacuating your kids and they're crying and scared. And also San Bernardino, Riverside County, they're 2 of the most polluted counties in the whole United States. So climate change is our generation's, I believe, biggest issue. And I really want to, you know, help move us forward in that way.
Yeah. I feel the same way. You know, the hard thing, just getting to like the crux of the problem for me when I think about it, is that we have like 2 fights that we're fighting, where we're trying to keep up in an energy competition with all these other countries. And we have these new technologies that are going to require more energy than we've ever used in the past. But then we also have to make sure that the energy is being used in a way that's not exacerbating climate change. So how do you bridge those 2 things so that we don't fall behind technologically, but we're also able to exist for beyond our lifetimes?
I mean, I think there's a couple things that are pretty quick, not necessarily easy, but quick, that we can do here in California. We have over 4 million acres of state unused land here. And I think we should just unlock it and start building solar panels,
right,
and power the whole United States. Like, we could become extremely wealthy doing that.
And a lot of people don't want to use that, get into the land use of it, because it's just such an eyesore. But at some point we're going to have to bite the bullet on that and just have...
I mean, that's lot of land, and a lot of it's in the desert, you know, and also, like, you know, the housing is so unaffordable right now, especially for so many young people. And I would love to use like our government buildings that are going unused here in California and just build some affordable housing for folks as well.
Yeah, I care a lot about housing too, and I'm like in a bunch of chats that are like YIMBY based, and I know you care a lot about that stuff too, Chris, with regulation and zoning.
Yeah, because it's, I mean, problem in California is cost of living seems to be, and, you know, we're losing people to other states, and it just seems like, but what are things that you can do, you know, to combat climate change that actually bring the cost of living down? Because it feels like a lot of it is like, no, we need to stop using these things, but there's nothing to replace it. So it would just mean more expensive energy and more expensive cost of living for people. And so I don't know, I'm definitely like a housing first. If there's enough housing, cost of living will go down, and we can figure out other things, and it's connected to homelessness. But if people don't have a place to live, and that's for me the biggest problem.
Absolutely. It's so expensive in California, and I have so many music friends moving out to Nashville and Austin, and, you know, really, really good people. And it's, you know, I think one of the things we need to do is, you know, give a tax credit to first-time home buyers. That's something we need to do here in California. Also, we just need to build more homes and not, you know, give these corporations, you know, that are buying up all these homes. You know, we need to regulate it a bit and make sure that actual families and young people are buying the homes versus
private equity.
Private equity, yeah.
But do you see that being a state-sponsored thing, or do you think that's just getting out of the way and letting private enterprise do more development?
I think, you know, it's a state thing. I think we can, you look at FDR and the New Deal, and throughout history, like, we've kind of helped, you know, put our hand a little bit to move it forward, you know? So I think as a state...
But that was more on the loaning side, though, than the actual building, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think as a state, we need to push it forward, you know, and we need to help young people to be able to buy these homes. And
because it's a red district, is it easier to build out there, or do you
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, there's been so many homes going up in District 41. You know, Inland Empire saw a huge growth, and it's going to surpass Riverside. It's going to surpass LA County. Riverside County is going to surpass LA County in about 5 years.
In
as far as population, yeah. Wow. Yeah. A lot of people are moving out there because it's cheaper. You know, it's more affordable. Yeah. So, but yeah, there's so many things we can do, and we're just not doing them here in California, which is really odd to me, you know, like, especially all these buildings, all the state land, like, let's just start building, you know, and
totally.
And make sure that the right people are buying it, and not private equity.
And the inefficiency too. I mean, you see how much money we pour into the homeless crisis and into the affordable housing situation.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like any of that financial horsepower is getting to the back tires and actually leading to development or change. And then you look at like the high-speed rail and how that's kind of...
It's a joke. It's crazy, right?
Yeah, and then it's gotten smaller and smaller. And
So then why should we trust the government here to actually build things if so often they're known for not being able to get things done? Why don't we want private equity to build houses if they have a track record of actually doing it?
This is probably controversial for me saying this as a Democrat, but I don't think we should trust the politicians. I think, Democrats and Republican politicians have both been corrupt. And we've seen time and time again here in California, people kicking back consultants and other folks. That's why I'm running as an outsider, because I'm not part of the system. I'm coming outside the system. I would love to shake up the system, and I love California. I love this place. I don't want to move to Austin. I don't want to move to Nashville. I want to make it a better place. So, I'm not afraid to go against politicians, whether they have a D or R behind their name. It's about fixing California.
And then, so if you're in Congress, you have like these dual responsibilities, right? Like you're responsible to your district, but then you're also voting on like federal funding, and you're voting on like, wars and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So how have you like split your thinking so far in terms of like macro issues versus more local ones?
My heart's really here in California, and obviously as a Congress member, like I'll be voting on all the federal issues, but like my head is focused on how can I make California a better place? Because I feel like right now it's just, we have a lot of issues that we need to fix.
And what are is there any other issues you're pretty passionate about?
I'd say those three, climate, homelessness and crime, and affordable housing.
And see, so I've been following the mayor from San Jose. He's pretty interesting. I think he's been doing a good job and getting a lot of news headlines.
Yeah.
And one thing he's doing with homeless people now is that if they refuse the housing that's being offered to them, then they're allowed to be put in jail, which to me reads as like kind of a good common sense policy until you get more granular about it. And then you're like, all right, how long are they going to be in jail for when there's already a backlog of people in jail? And is that actually going to fix the situation? But how do you kind of balance having resources dedicated to helping people, but then also if someone's not willing to take the help, what do you do at that point?
I think it's really nuanced. And for me, like, homelessness, like it's been a big thing since I was a kid. I've been helping out. And even, just last week I was out feeding people. Right now, like, a third of California is in or near poverty. So people are, they're working 3 jobs, but they still can't afford to eat right now. Like, go to Trader Joe's and buy groceries. And so there's places all over the state, that help feed folks, help feed families. I think, with the homeless population, a lot of it's mental health, right? The people that are on the streets, and drug addiction. So I think we need to do a better job addressing the mental health issues of some of these folks and getting on the ground, giving them the treatment they need, giving them the drugs that they need to sober up, and the treatments that can help them, move past this. But, it's wild to me because we're the 4th richest economy in the world. If we were our own country, it'd be the 4th largest. Yet we have people, a third of us, that are on the borderline of being in poverty, right? It's just this odd thing, right? And some of these people are friends of mine, right? Like they're in the music industry, or they're working multiple jobs, or they're working as a construction worker and driving Uber on the side, right? And it just doesn't feel right? It just doesn't seem right that this is happening. And so I want to protect this state and make sure that we can get that third population, out of that point of poverty and buying homes and being able to support themselves.
Yeah. And it does seem like, in the Ezra Klein book, they were talking about how places that do have more housing and more affordable housing, homelessness is low, like places like Houston.
Absolutely. Yeah. Texas is doing a great job actually right now on, with affordable housing. They're building so many homes right now.
Yeah. And rents have come down.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Although homelessness is up in Austin, which is weird.
Right.
That didn't quite match the model that they were trying to draw up in the book.
I mean, there's so much we have to do here in California. I don't know if there's this new book out called Apple in China. I think it's what it's called. It just came out. Basically, Apple was pumping $52 billion into China. This is a California-based company, right? Instead of pumping it into California, they were pumping it into China. And it ended up being over $270 billion, I believe, over a period of 5 years that they were pumping money into China. And basically, China now is a superpower because of Apple, right?
When you say they're pumping money in, what do you like to what end?
To hire workers and build factories to build iPhones instead of building them here in the United States. And so we basically made China from being a really poor country into being this ultra rich mega power by pumping money. And now Tesla and others have followed suit. And, we have to, here in California on the federal level, we have to sit down with Apple and Tesla and others and say, how can we make sure that this stays here in California? What can we do, to make sure you're not shipping, these jobs overseas?
What kind of things can we do?
I think it's, I think for me, it's like, let's just, when I'm in Congress or, here as a politician, like, let's just sit down and negotiate. Like, what does that look like for you? Like, what
incentives can we give them to keep the
what can we do
here?
and make sure that's not going overseas? Because at the end of the day, it hurts our economy, right? And it's a national threat, having China be so wealthy like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm
a bit torn on it because it's like, if we can do it here, that'd be great. It will mean things will be more expensive. Is there somewhere else where we can do it? Obviously, I want manufacturing capacity in America because I do think it's a safety thing, but I think it's a little unfair to say like it's just Apple's fault that China, they made a lot of decisions on their own that led them to this place.
It's interesting, China was completely poor, and then we basically taught these workers in China these special skills, and they went on to create their own companies and start their own companies building semiconductors and other electronic parts. And so, it was not only money, that we gave them, we also taught them special skills. So, they wouldn't have had those skills if it wasn't for us. And, we can't go back and fix what we did. But we can, moving forward. One of the interesting things I think we could think about in the future, keeping jobs here, factories or manufacturing here, is implementing AI and robotics, right? Like maybe, we create factories here and it's more AI and robotic run, and we're able to build, things here and keep things here. So I don't know, we should maybe take those steps to ensure that California grows more wealthy instead of other countries,
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking to James this morning because I saw an article about how the cost of goods in 5 years because of AI will basically go down to, in 5-10 years, will go down to zero.
Hell yeah.
Which is, I was like, because Elon said that, and I was like, wait, he's like, yeah, because, in companies like Apple, there's so many executives that they have to, the step-by-step process to make an iPhone, and then AI is basically just going to make a, streamline it to the point where the cost is going to go down dramatically. So that's going to be interesting to see if that actually happens, but also what that means for, China or here, in terms of their economies, our economies.
Absolutely.
I'm not really well versed in it, but I thought it was an interesting thing
to
think about.
Absolutely.
What the future will look like.
Did you see, I forget what they're calling it, but it's Tesla's robot that they had.
Optimus.
Optimus, yeah. And like
called.
serving drinks and that thing they did. It was pretty wild.
I'm excited to have a robot fold my laundry whenever that happens. It's going to be pretty sick.
Totally.
Do you see any other kind of silver bullets along with AI that could help in like these kind of critical areas like cost of living or climate change? that you think will potentially, even like with the new budget, people think it's going to add trillions of dollars to the debt, which is already pretty enormous. But then there's this idea that we have so many resources here and we have these kind of new technologies that it could expand revenue to a point that we're okay. Are you optimistic about that?
Yeah, I'm definitely optimistic about the future here in California. I do think we're overdue for a price correction in the real estate market. You know what I mean? I think we'll be seeing some deals soon, and hopefully interest rates are going to be coming down here soon, at the end of this year. And, but I think we just need to build more, right? It's just plain and simple, and unlocking our unused land, giving tax credits,
Do you think it's possible to like roll back CEQA?
Possibly, yeah. I think that's something I'm definitely, going to be talking more about on my platform as well, in the next coming months here. So
okay.
What do you see for the future when AI kind of takes over and you see just the shift in the economy with AI taking over a lot of these jobs, like the Tesla robot taking over a lot of these jobs? Like do you see in the future the government having to pay like a UBI or something like that? Like what do you?
Yeah, I mean it's really hard to say, right? I mean, all I've been hearing is from some of the corporations that are involved with some of these robotics and AI, like Google and and others, sharing about the future and saying that it'll help the economy. I do think it will help with like manufacturing and everything like that. I get nervous with the entertainment industry. I want to make sure we have some regulations with the entertainment industry, and I've messed around a lot with different AI programs and music, and it's wild how AI can just create a song from scratch and give you stems and everything like that.
Do you have any opinion on antitrust stuff and like just some of these behemoths? Like, should we allow them to, like, because they create so much innovation, to keep doing what they do? And like, you want more mergers and acquisitions to happen so that there's opportunity out there, but at the same time it feels like maybe they have too much power.
I think there's obviously I think there's too much power right now with some of these large. You're talking about some of the large tech companies.
Yeah, I'm talking about like Google and stuff, like, because like we don't want to lose an AI race with another place like China. So you want to have these companies, feel like they got free reign to develop as quickly as possible. But then at the same time, this technology is so expansive, we're afraid, and we're like, no, we got to corral you guys. And it seems like those two things are working at opposite ends.
I mean, you literally have, folks from Google and Bill Gates at Microsoft saying, please regulate this now. Like, Congress act now, regulate this. They're afraid, unleashing AI in a way without regulation. So we need to, work with them on, how we regulate, but we definitely need some regulations sooner than later around AI and robotics, so that it's just not, unleashed. With the entertainment industry, we saw the SAG strikes, right? And they were able to negotiate there, but the music industry really hasn't done anything quite yet. And
I know. So like Spotify, like I think it came out that they've been kind of pushing people towards like songs that they had created that are similar to ones that people were listening to, but because then they don't have to pay out royalties on those ones and they get paid more for it. So like, how do you combat somebody, like, especially with like if somebody's just kind of passive listening and they don't mind just putting on a playlist, like how do you stop someone from just doing that? Like how do you see music going where, some of these platforms might push their own music that they had created, whether through AI or through artists that they didn't have to pay a lot? Like,
honestly, like my whole thing is like we're in the golden age of music right now, right? Like we've had such amazing artists, right? You think about the Beatles and U2 and such amazing bands. Why mess with something? Why throw AI into the mix when we're creating such great art anyways? So honestly, I would, I'd want to ban all AI creations on Spotify and Apple Music. I know that sounds extreme, but I don't think we need it. I think we need, or just create a platform that's totally separate for AI, right? And AI music. But, as far as 100% AI created, I don't think we need that on Spotify and Apple Music.
That's interesting though, because then what's the threshold? Like if I'm, like what if somebody that you worked with has started incorporating AI into the way that they make music?
And they're using like 40 or 50%,
Yeah, or how do you tell if it's 40 or 50 or 90?
Totally. Yeah, and that's where it gets gray, right? Because, there was I worked with this producer that works with Kendrick Lamar. I won't say his name, but he brought something in that had like an AI sample sounding like from the 70s. And then we put a hip hop beat behind it and did all this stuff, right? But the original thing was a AI created thing, but that sounded old school and sampley. You know what I mean? So, I think, it is nuanced, right? And there's a lot of gray areas. So I would say that's something like that's maybe using, 20% AI would be okay. But it's like stuff that's just 100% AI driven, and it's just flooding the market with copycats of Billie Eilish and things like that. I think that hurts the music industry. It doesn't help, right? But if an artist is using it as like a texture or a piece of their music, and it's a smaller part, and they expand on that and they use instruments and their own voice or things like that. But it does get nuanced, because I've messed around with it, with putting my voice through AI, with a singer that's not a famous singer, but, a singer that I created using AI. And there's definitely an artistic thing to it, right? Too. So it's super nuanced.
Yeah, it seems to me like it can be used effectively as a tool.
Totally.
Like to enhance, your art. But yeah, to me, I mean, I don't know if I've listened to any fully AI generated music, but like when I like that video that just came out, when I knew, and that it might be hard to tell the difference in the future, but there's something so off-putting about AI video that I can't even watch it. I do think there's something to a human being creating art that's you just can't replace, and maybe it'll get so advanced in the future that you can't tell the difference. But to me, it's like kind of repulsive in a way to see. Like,
it's wild to see where we're going, and also we're like in the golden age of like filmmaking too, right? You think about Indiana Jones and Star Wars and just all
but a
these
lot of the ones that
movies.
you're mentioning
they're older. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So the other big issues, like right now, how do you feel about the U.S. kind of going into business more directly with like the Gulf states?
Oh, with Mexico and
no, I mean with like Saudi Arabia,
UAE,
UAE,
gotcha.
Qatar.
How do I feel about us going?
Yeah, because we don't want them to go to China and be doing business directly with them. So in exchange, they'll be doing business with us, but we have to give them some of our GPUs and our AI computing power. And do you feel like that's a necessary thing to do right now to ensure kind of our financial stability going forward, and also kind of like, work in the risk board? Or do you think that's kind of compromising our morals too much because of some of their human rights transgressions?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm glad I landed the plane on that. I get nervous with all these questions.
I've been so focused here in California and the issues here.
Sorry, I was wondering.
I totally get it.
Because are these things Congress, I guess that was more of like an executive order, but are these things that Congress weighs in on? Like, I guess the executive order on like price controls on medicine as well. Is that something that you're feeling one way or the other about?
Yeah, I think, I'm, right now Trump wanting to cut Medicare and Medicaid, I think is just horrific.
Yeah, food stamps and stuff.
It's just awful. So, obviously we need to, price control some of these medicines and everything, but it's something I'm not focused on completely right now as far as my core message. My core message is here, and it's in California, and making sure things are affordable for folks.
Yeah, I feel the same way, especially with housing. It's crazy to me how hard it is to build here. And then just how at cross purposes it seems like the city can be. Like, so here we had a ED1, which was Karen Bass put in this affordable housing program that you had ministerial power if you were building low income housing, and you didn't have to go through like the super long development process, so it'd still pencil out. But then she kind of gutted it because it was working too well.
Yeah,
like affordable
It was
housing.
like if you followed all the rules but didn't take any government money, it still saved you so much time just by being able to cut through the red tape that people were building it without having to get approval for taking city money. And then so they just started adding more requirements on top to make it more onerous because it was actually doing what it was intended to do.
Isn't that wild?
It's very sad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
As somebody who voted for her, I was
yeah,
pretty bummed out.
yeah, totally. Yeah, no, for sure.
And
It's been, it's been heartbreaking. I don't know if you saw during the wildfires, but like Karen Bass and, the airport with her back turned, right? And they're asking her like, what are you going to do about the wildfires? And she couldn't even say, I'm going to make a statement later, I'll let you know. Like, she just didn't answer. And to me, that was just a breakdown in leadership, just where California is right now. And that was one of the many reasons I was like, I have to step up right now and do something, because even if I didn't have any specifics in that moment or knowing what we were going to do in that very moment, at least say like, I'm going to share very soon what we're going to be doing in the next hour or two. I'm going to be talking to my team, just something, right? And
so you're trying to flip a red district. I've looked at the demographics. It's about like half white, half Latino, with other people spritzed in there as well. I don't mean to be too carefree about my demographics on it. But what do you see as like the crucial elements to get those people who have traditionally gone red to go for you in this next election?
Absolutely. It's a really different district. So like Palm Springs is very, very blue, right? But it's a very small city in the district. Corona is the largest city in the district. And there's a lot of people that are just NPP, so they're independent. They don't affiliate with a party.
Right.
And then, Republicans have a small edge, but it's not a lot. I think speaking to the working class, like I grew up, working class. I grew up poor as a pastor's kid. I was a barista. I was a janitor at one point. I know what it's like to work your butt off. And I came out to LA with literally like $100 and was sleeping on my brother's futon before I hit it big with OneRepublic. So I know what it's like to work really, really hard. And I think that message resonates with folks in the district. That's who those people are. Where Ken Calvert is a dirty politician who's become $20 million richer in the last 5 years while being in office.
It is crazy. I mean, you look at like Harry Reid and some of these guys and how their net worth just like quintupled while they were in office, and like
it's completely
through
correct.
little like maneuverings, like putting water through their property or something like that.
And Ken basically did it through insider trading, owning certain stocks, but also, having a lot of real estate and property where, he would benefit from certain roads being built and different things like that.
And a Republican senator said recently, who was being interviewed, and they were like, hey, you were so on the Bidens for like calling them the crime family for their financial kind of like chicanery and stuff. And then like, why aren't you upset about the Trump family? Like Kushner just made a deal with the Saudis or something like that. He's like, well, they're doing it out in the open.
It's
he
wild.
kind of gave him a pass. And I do think there's something to that like people kind of know that politicians are crooks, but there's something transparent about the current admin that makes it more tolerable to people. But you think you'll be able to stay clear of any kind of
honestly,
payola?
Like, and this is probably too much information, but like, with Congress, I would love to see age limits. I would love to see blind trusts that are mandatory. Like you can't know what stocks you own. It's in a blind trust. You have someone else running your ship for if you have a 401k or whatever you have, you're not in control of that. And I would love to see term limits for Congress. Yeah. Like this is crazy.
I know.
Age limits and term limits. Let's just do this. It's crazy.
What do you think about ranked voting like they do in some states or like in Australia?
Ranked voting,
like, so you list your candidates like 1, 2. It's supposed to be a good way to get away from the extremes.
Okay.
Because like, so if you're voting, you'd be like, okay, I want this guy number 1, this guy number 2, this guy number, and you kind of order them so you get a lot more compromised kind of picks, because the extremes that tend to be winning of late get muddled to the middle.
Yeah. I mean, I think
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. I think, I don't
know if the extremes have been winning of late. I don't know if...
I think, the way our founders set it up with, having districts like this and doing it the way we have it is good. It's just, I think we should have had term limits a long, long time ago. And I think we should have had age limits. If you have to be a certain age to run for president or to be in Congress, we should have, you shouldn't be 85 years old and still be in Congress.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It is crazy with these price limits on drugs. Like people in the chat are like, yeah, we need to have them. And we do pay a lot more on new drugs in America. Although I think we pay less on generics, but you see how research and development would just dwindle if we put price limits on medicine. And then it would almost be like, in terms of death that would come from the new research that doesn't happen, like a genocide. So how do you deal with like the reality of like, hey, we need stuff to be more affordable, with also what the consequences of that affordability would be for the next generation?
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to keep regulating it, keep doing things. I think for too long, I support a capitalism
model overall.
But however, we've kind of just let it go amok, right? And now we're seeing the consequences of these giant companies becoming crazy rich, and then the middle class and the poor just getting poorer and poorer. And so we need to regulate things more and kind of swing the other way and kind of keep some of these companies in check here. Right? But the problem is the system, right? So in order to win Congress, you have to have PACs give to you, right? So you have to have millions and millions of dollars in order for me to win Congress here in 41.
Yeah,
it's going to cost it might be one of the most expensive races ever. It's going to be $14 to $20 million or so for this Congress seat, because it's a swing seat. It determines the control of House.
Very exciting.
So
you're in it, brother.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So how you grounded? Sorry.
So 14 million just to play. Like that's kind of like if you're below that threshold, and so like that's the estimate of like that's just how much you need just to have a chance. Is what
in
you're saying?
This one in this district, because it determines the control of the House. And in order to win, the way our system is set up is you have to take some money from corporations or you're going to lose. Like there's no way I'm going to be able. So far my whole campaign is grassroots, right? But come November, the Republicans, if they have $20 million for Ken Calvert, we have to match that. And at some point, companies are going to have to put money into this campaign. Now you have to be beholden to these companies, right? And that's what keeps going on and on again. Congress, Senate, our president, they're all paid off, right? I would love to see a bill where we can do away with that. No more PAC money, no more corporate money. If you win, I would love to see a system where the Republican gets $1 million and the Democrat gets $1 million, and whoever is the coolest dude wins.
But in the meantime, what are you going to do?
You have to take the money, right? But I am not going to, I'm about the people. I'm about the people, and I could give a fuck about corporations. If they come, you need to do this for us, fuck them. And
where does all that money go? Just advertising, just getting your name recognized in the community and making sure you're just hitting them over and over again so that your
This is probably the most passionate thing I'm about, because I think the whole thing is rigged and broken. So the money goes to consultants, right? So we saw with Kamala, they spent $1 billion in 4 months, and they were doing dumbass shit. They were putting a billboard in the dome for $500,000 and doing all this other stuff. And so in this district, the way to win is advertising on TV, because, seniors are the people that are coming out to vote typically. And so you're pumping millions and millions of dollars literally within a couple months. It just goes poof, And in this system that we've created, the people who get really rich are the political consultants who get a commission on these ads. They get 10 to 20% on every ad that goes on. And so, of course, they're telling me to raise millions and millions of dollars for these ads because they get a commission. So the whole system is fucked up and it needs to be completely changed. The only way it'll change is if we all rise up and say stop on both sides, saying stop this system. We need a new system in place where everyone financially is on an even playing field, and it's all about the message, right? And it's all about the person versus corporations and people getting their paws in this, you know? It's capitalism, right? It's capitalism gone amok is what it is.
Right. It's got its own industrial complex now with just all the helpers.
And people are fatigued, right? Like after Kamala lost, right? Like I gave and, you know, gave to Will Rollins, who was running here in 41 and who's not running anymore. And people are fatigued because they saw the millions and millions of dollars just being wasted, right? And so, you know, people are wanting some change there. So I would love to fix that.
It'd be nice to get less political ads during the voting season because, oh man, even traveling, I would just get so many.
Absolutely.
You know, but you still got to do it because obviously the rules aren't going to change by the time you come up to vote. So have you thought about like what your commercial strategy is going to be? What are you going to wear? What kind of vibe are you going for?
Yeah. Well, I definitely, just want to be authentic and real in my ads and, just do things that haven't been done before, with the ads. But also just sharing my story, of just growing up working class. And for me, the most important thing is people knowing that the working class people are the people that I'm representing and care about. And it's not special interest groups.
And so if you get elected, do you live here or you live in Washington?
So mainly I'd say, I would love to see the stats on it, but it's about 70% or so Congress members live in Washington. Like right now, Ken Calvert, he lives in Washington, right?
And has probably been there for a good
30 years. Yeah. A lot of them have homes in the district and then they kind of bounce between back and forth and stuff like that.
And has he done a good job of deploying resources back home?
No, he's like totally opposite of, the people there. Most people, believe in, women's right to choose, right? Like right now in America. And he's voted against.
Yeah, he voted to overturn
Roe v. Wade, and he's just wrong on every single issue. And no, it's definitely gotten worse for sure.
And I read somewhere Trump's taking it easier on, like, they wanted him to ban the abortion pill, but he's actually kind of backing off that because he feels like it's a losing issue going into these midterms.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I think, we've kind of seen him pull back on a lot of these issues like tariffs and things like that, because I think, we've seen when the stock market crashes or, people, it's so widely unpopular right now that people are not into it.
Is there a politician you like nationally right now?
Yeah, I really like Adam Schiff a lot. I think Adam, he has I think he cares about the people and has a good heart. I heard a story about him doing an event and there was someone in a wheelchair and they didn't have access, for an elevator. And he literally, with another person, picked them up, helped them up the stairs. So he cares about people, and I like that. I like that Adam cares.
You described yourself as an outsider. So how do you plan to break? Like, what would you say differs from like what people would associate with the Democratic Party now? Like, how do you see yourself different?
Yeah, I think, again, like seeing politicians, how corrupt they've been, taking money from special interest groups, and being someone that, is more of a business person that's built a successful business that, isn't, being held up by these special interest groups. So, I've definitely come from an outsider's perspective.
We also have some movements that are close to us. Do you support the small dong movement?
What's the small dong?
Chad and I are publicly representative of the small dong population, guys with small dongs, and we've gone on the news and talked about how important it is to de-shame the idea of having a small dong and how vital we can be to the American enterprise.
I mean, that was probably my, my fourth issue that I was going to highlight,
Good. That's good to hear.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah.
My tiny penis thanks you.
Yeah.
Dudes are sad these days.
Yeah,
So
they
I
are.
think having someone in Congress saying, "Hey, I support small dongs," would help a lot of,
Absolutely.
It wouldn't fix all the problems, but it'd fix most of them.
Well,
Or even
it's
like creating a committee for small dongs
absolutely
would be.
we need a pack.
Yeah, if there was something like that where people were getting together at least once a month to talk about how to advance that agenda on a national scale would be pretty sick.
Well, I think that's what's been going on. We've seen, the big dick packs dominating, and that's what we're being fed in the media is the big dicks,
We need something. We need something that's dong partisan. It's goes for both big dongs and little dongs, but it's in support of, just we are the one dong.
Right. We don't want to make it too much us versus them.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we all got dicks. At least the dong people.
Yeah.
Obviously not the U.S. at large. Women exist. I'm aware of that.
We should remake Michael Jackson's "We Are the World," but we are the dong.
Right.
Yeah.
But then just right at the end be like, but also vaginas. Just to keep with the message of inclusivity.
Just having you say that like after the song, we're also vaginas.
But also vaginas.
Everyone's holding small dick candles.
Yeah. Well, you could probably write the song.
I could.
You wouldn't even, Are you going to try and
We should
incorporate
create a
music
pack.
into
We should create a pack, the small dick pack. I think it would do well.
Yeah.
We also wanted to build a statue for Paul Walker to unite the nation because we just think he's a beacon of optimism. Is that something you would support?
Absolutely, 100%.
Even he did have a checkered past in terms of his dating history. Are you willing to still represent him despite mistakes that were made?
Absolutely, 100%.
That's
Yeah,
solid.
we need to take down some of the Confederate statues and put up Paul Walker statues.
Loyalty, yeah.
And Jason Momoa.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good call. And I think maybe our last thing is we believe in public yachts. There's obviously mental health is an issue. People feel like they lack purpose these days. They, young men, they're not working as much, they're not boning as much. And we think that can all be solved by just getting them on a yacht once a month.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, I should propose a bill and we can talk about this, you guys can lobby and we can, have a yacht.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite ideas of your guys' because it was...
And are you in favor of SALT tax deductions?
For what?
Like when you're filling out your taxes, if you pay a bunch to the state, you don't got to pay that to the federal?
I mean, right now it's interesting because it's one of the things I'm really, really passionate about is, California, we pay billions and billions of dollars in taxes and we're constantly in the red every year. It's like hundreds of, we need to be in the green. We need to, or at least be breaking even. It's insane that we're paying so much in federal taxes, California taxes, yet that money isn't coming back to us to fix our roads, help homelessness, affordability. Yeah. And it's interesting because it goes to the states where Congress members live. So Maryland, Virginia, they're all
we're
East Coast.
Subsidizing all these other states.
Where the states where the members of Congress and Senate live.
Oh. So you think they're taking it back into their pockets?
Obviously.
While they criticize us and say we're a bunch of liberal dorks.
Totally.
So unfair, dude. Classic.
Think about it. Like if you're living in Virginia and this, bill comes across to give money to a state that you actually live in, why would you give it to Texas or California or, if you're living on the East Coast?
All right, man. Hell yeah. Dude, that was cool. We went all sorts of different directions. It'll be an awkward listen for sure. Thanks for bearing with it through us while we try stuff, dudes. Tim, it was nice meeting you, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
we'll have you back on as you're running, man. I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Good job on your list too.
Oh, thank you.
Especially not knowing you're coming on.
Yeah, no, thank you. This was fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man.